Good morning, everybody. This is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today. So yesterday was pretty much a nothing day, big up, big down, a little bit of a push down, but then buyers came in at the bottom. Now, the important thing to understand here is we are in a zone here that is extremely important. Not an exact level there, we'll get to those on the lower time frame. So if you look at it on the weekly, you can see clear as daylight. If we start breaking below this area, we might as well just extend it to the current low. So it's this swing low here. So we start dropping below 36.37. The measured move of this cup and handle or inverse cup and handle is all the way down here to this gap. So we are in a very, very important area at the moment. So break below here, you've got quite a substantial fall coming your way. And if we manage to hold this, then you should expect some kind of a move back up. And I would expect it to sort of head back into that area up there at 4100. So that's kind of where we are, sort of hanging on our fingernails at the moment. Now, if we just start drilling down through the time frames that we have an interest in, 8 hour obviously doesn't give us anything. We do have not so much diversions, but we are far away from the moving averages, so it's not an area I'd like going short. And also the oscillators are grouped to downside and potentially a crossover brewing here. So this is definitely not price action that interests me at all. If we start looking at the 3 hour, you can see the exact same thing. We did have a flag that formed, and that flag is very much still in play. Let's get this right. There's our flag there. So we did move down, we consolidated, and we popped down, and now we're back testing this area. This level that we put in, just this weekly level that I've just put in, 36.85, is a clear area that we need to pay attention to. Nothing happening with the oscillators. Trend is down. We should be looking to sell, but as I said yesterday, we're looking at this 37.52, and yeah, then there's another level even higher at 3800 or 38.30 as well. But for me at the moment, if you have a look at the structure that formed through yesterday, and then we popped below, came back and rejected. We've gapped up this morning. Excuse me. We have gapped up this morning. We do have a potential double bottom here with diversions on the hour, but that basically means we need to get above the swing high of yesterday for that to even start playing out. So I'm of the opinion we still need to be shorting, but we need to be shorting off structure, and we also need to be shorting with a clear stop loss in the, sort of a stop loss plan, should I say. Now, you can see yesterday we didn't really respect anything, so that was the closest level. We did sort of in the middle of the day get there, but during the open, break above it, typical fashion, look for the next level, and the next level was right over there, and even a little bit higher as well, which was aiming for. But anyway, there was an opportunity here for a short, but I suppose it would have been a little bit risky based on my strategy not actually playing out. So there was no structure. The only thing that was really playing out was we were close to the 155 EMA, and then the oscillators had grouped up, but there was no resistance no significant resistance to speak of that we bounced off. Anyway, this is the area to pay attention to right now. And we do have a gap. It's not that far away. It's 200 points, so not that far in the bigger scheme of things, how things have been going. So I would be watching this area, probably see us drift down during the European session, and come back and test the bottom here. We haven't tagged this level yet, so this is 36.37. So I do suspect we are still looking for 36.37 before making a call of what's going on, and that is the previous swing low on the 8 hour. So all intents and purposes, we are sideways. This could be forming a bit of a range, but it could also be a flag that we are now testing and about to roll over. So my advice is quite simple. We need to get out of the moving averages. We are in the middle of the moving averages here, so don't really want to trade anything while we are in amongst the moving averages like this. It does look like they're trying to flip it for a move higher, and if there is a move higher, that's sort of where I'd be looking for a short, which would be around 37.50 area. Definitely would be looking for something around this area to short this market, and possibly just come back and test some structure on the 15-minute, trying to build a bait for a move higher. So sit on hands for me until we clear. I think if we break above 36.85, come back and test, and the test holds. In other words, we get above the 155 with a crossover here and start moving up, then I definitely think you have an opportunity for a long scalp on the 15-minute, targeting 37.50. But at the moment, we're going to need to see some structure. So if we reject this area, and then the other thing to bear in mind is you do have this swing high and this swing high, which could also offer resistance. And you just need to go back to the hour just to keep yourself in check. You can see there with the sellers coming in off there. So there's nothing that indicates that that's not going to happen again. We do have a little bit of divergence here on the 8th hour, ever so slight. I think that's a very slightly lower low than what that is, but the oscillators are high. So all that means is, we're not, the possibility of us falling is a little bit lower, but I think what we're looking for is a better entry to continue this drive to the downside. So that's kind of my view this morning. These two levels are your key areas. So let's just put it this way. So a rejection of 36.99 would definitely get me looking for an opportunity to short again. But that stop is going to be really tight. The position size will probably be very small, and I'm only looking to short back down to come and test this area here. So in other words, play it like a range. So from that area short. But if we do short off this area at 30, call it 3700, and we come back and we don't find support at 36.85, in other words, we plummet down, that's game on. But if we do find support here, that's game off. Then I'd take that trade off, and I'd then get down to the lower time frames and be looking for a move up to this area here, 37.52. So we are ranging, so you don't want to be jumping in the middle of here. So it's either short off the top for a move down here, which is quite significant, because I think you'll be able to get a 100-point stop loss for a 570-point move to the downside. You're just going to have to be off a low time frame, like a 5, 10, 15-minute chart, in order to get a hold of that move. Okay, anyway, that's kind of my view today. Be careful, it is sideways, so anything can happen. But I do think what the bears are looking for is a better opportunity higher up, and the bulls are going to try and take advantage of this to just try and recoup some of their losses. But I'm not so sure either way, to be honest. Okay, anyway, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.